we usually go to the polls in May, when there's lovely long daylight hours, plenty of pleasant weather to go campaigning in.
Man up. Let's have an election on December the 12th.
So is an election where you've got to wear your coat, your gloves, your scarf just to leave the house a really terrible idea? Well, perhaps. Let's dispel some winter election myths. It's true that December can bring some truly terrible weather, and there could be snow in some parts of the country. And in Lerwick, the sun sets at 3 p.m. The idea is people don't want to leave their homes to go and cast their ballot.
We're closing a road. What blizzard? It's a couple of flakes.
The post could be delayed. Ballot boxes reliant on being transported by ferry could be held up.
Strict precautions are taken to make it quite impossible for anything dishonest or irregular to happen.
However, studies have shown there is virtually no correlation between bad weather and low voter turnout.
You're joking. Not another one?
Second, shortage of venues. Church halls, schools, public buildings, they're normally well in the swing of things for Christmas festivities in December. But schools break up on the 20th of December, and the thought is the government have got in there just early enough to make sure that all those venues are free to run polling stations in. Now, safety. It's true, shorter daylight hours mean a less pleasant campaigning experience for candidates and their activists. And some female MPs have already said they feel pretty concerned about going out in the dark. I think we'll see a change in strategy too, with more events held indoors at community centres and less of that wall-to-wall door knocking that you get in the spring. And what about students? It's true that some might be registered at home to vote, but will still be at university when polling day comes around, and they might miss their chance. But in reality, most universities break up a little bit later in December, and students have had plenty of time to register. And also, the National Union of Students have been running their Got 5 campaign, which is all about finding 5 minutes of spare time to register to vote. Then there's the elderly and people that find it difficult to leave the house. This is always an issue at a general election, but postal votes will be the answer here. And many will already be registered for a vote and will rely on neighbourly and family support to vote in person. The final factor, of course, is this C word, Christmas, which might actually be the biggest unknown. It's possible that the thrills of an election campaign will just struggle to cut through the distraction of shopping and socialising in the run-up to December the 25th. So how could all these factors affect the main political parties? The Tories. Most people that turn out to vote are aged 50 and over, and the majority of people who vote Conservative are aged 60 plus. And if the stereotypes are true, that Tories are a little bit wealthier and have access to a car, then it might be easier for them to go and vote in person, even if it is horrendous weather. The Labour Party. The majority of Labour votes come from younger people, those aged between 18 and 39. But Labour and the campaign group Momentum really pride themselves on being able to activate the student vote, and where those numbers are really going to matter will be in Lib Dem and Labour marginals in university towns. And in some of those really strong Remain areas, you might see that Lib Dem message of revoking Article 50, their bollocks to Brexit slogan, might actually cut through. The Liberal Democrats. The Lib Dems are targeting lots of Scottish seats this year, so they are not going to want bad weather to disrupt their campaigning plans. Their campaign relies on door knocking, leafleting, rather than state-of-the-art tech, and some worry that December is just not a great time for their style of campaigning. The SNP. It's thought that a December election might advantage the party, and they were really keen for one, pushing for the December date in the House of Commons. The worst thing for the party was for an election to fall during or after the court case of former First Minister Alex Salmond. As this is one of the most volatile elections that the UK has ever held, pollsters are understandably a little bit reluctant to draw too many conclusions. And as has been the way over the last 4 years, it's really difficult to decide what's going to happen next.